Hello and welcome to a new video. This is actually post commentary because for whatever reason my mic and headset and whatever didn't work the first time while I was recording this. During this particular segment I had a non-negligible amount of less blood in my body, but that's a story for another time. Anyways, we're going to be going in and talking to Joshua Graham.
Hoi, Auslander Zuka Joshua Graham?
Am I looking for Joshua? Yes, I am. Can you tell me where he is?
You know our tongue. Smart, Auslander. Joshua in high place of Cain. You show respect, Utman. Joshua is greatest warrior. You show him no respect. He show you thunder and fire.
I'll make sure to be on my best behavior then. It's not easy to read this in post commentary because
You wise for Auslander.
it's kind of hard to determine when I do and don't start and stop, or whatever. So because this person was an asshole, I decided to disrespect them by throwing all their shit on the ground and trying to put their knife in the fire. It didn't really work, as you can see. There's some crap preventing me from making it scalding hot. That's fine, cause there's other stuff to toss on the floor anyways. Though you can't move this pot or that skull. Yeah, screw you. Being rude like that.
We should have given you a better welcome on your first visit to Zion. But from what I hear, the Whitelegs beat us to it. Whitelegs seem to be the only visitors we have these days. And I wouldn't have expected anyone from the Mojave to come looking for us. And you're a courier, no less. Not the one I was expecting, but I suppose he wouldn't have come with a caravan. I don't know if you were close to the other members of your group, but you have my sympathy. I pray for the safety of all good people who come to Zion, even Gentiles. But we can't expect God to do all the work.
Well, technically, if God's all-powerful, it would be pretty reasonable to assume he should be doing all the work. But anyways, I came here with the Happy Trails Caravan Company to make contact with the new Canaanites.
Happy Trails. I remember. They were good friends. I have bad news for your employers. New Canaan was destroyed, its citizens scattered. All because of the Whitelegs. And Caesar, of course. The Whitelegs want to join the Legion. Caesar's rite of passage is the destruction of the new Canaanites. Almost assuredly because of me. The good news is that we can help you find your way back. Daniel, one of the other new Canaanites, has made many maps of the region. The bad news is that we can't help you right now. Not with everything that's going on.
I'm not gonna leave without offering to help, so what can I do?
You're a good neighbor to us. We all go through periods of darkness. In such times we can turn to the Lord. But it's good to have friends. Daniel and I need pre-war tools to help us navigate beyond Zion. Should we need to evacuate, these instruments will be vital to us. Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them. But many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside.
I'm not entirely sure what I said here, but taboo?
The Sorrows believe in a spirit that lives in the caves. Say the spirit punished them once for trespassing. They put special marks around the cave entrances to keep people out. It doesn't work on the Whitelegs, of course, but the dead horses are spooked.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Follows Chalk can help you find your way around the valley. He's inexperienced, but he knows enough of our language to ignore the taboos about pre-war buildings.
He has a bunch of crap in here, but you're not able to take it freely. And before I leave, I decide to talk to him some more and ask him some additional questions.
Welcome back. What can I do for you?
And doing it from the best angle. What did you say about Courier? Who were you expecting?
Caesar would never admit this openly, but he knows that I'm alive. I've killed enough of his frumentari and assassins that have come looking. I've heard one of them travels the Mojave as a courier. Most of Caesar's agents meet a fitting end in NCR territory, but maybe this one survived.
I've met Kaiser, you know. What do you think he would say if I told him you were here?
I think that would put him and you in a difficult position. Caesar has agents looking for me, but he won't admit I'm alive. And even if you killed me, he can't acknowledge that. To do so would be to admit I had never died, that Caesar made a mistake. No. He lives by his lies and shall die by his lies. There is no escaping it.
Pray? God? What are you talking about?
I am a New Canaanite. We believe we are the heirs of a spiritual tradition, given to our ancestors thousands of years ago. We have made and kept covenants with our Lord God to honor his laws. In exchange, we are promised eternal salvation after this life. A day will come when our Lord returns to judge us all. Until then, we must honor his laws and start others along the path of salvation if we can. That's why we trade with others and work the tribes. We have more than food and medicine to offer. Good news is our most valuable commodity.
The funny thing is, these people are all Mormons, and as far as religions go, that's a fairly recent one. So we have a lot of evidence and understanding of how it started and why it's a total sham. But wait, you don't actually believe that, do you?
I know it may be hard for you to accept or even to understand. In my heart, I believe that though I am a sinner, I have been saved. And I believe there is something beyond this rock, and this air, and this water around us. Something more that is waiting for us. I have been baptized twice. Once in water, once in flame. I will carry the fire of the Holy Spirit inside until I stand before my Lord for judgment.
It's not that we don't understand it, it's that it's just nonsensical and doesn't adhere to reality. We have a fairly good understanding of how natural law works and how our minds work to the point where we can say supernatural stuff, including an afterlife, are unlikely. But anyways, nice guns, huh?
In the Great Basin and Colorado Plateau, all tribes are known for a specific weapon. Whitelegs are known for their big submachine guns, storm drums. They broke into an armory near Spanish Fork and have been using them for years. Of course, the dead horses have their wooden war clubs, and even the Sorrows have their Yao Guai gauntlets. This type of .45 automatic pistol was designed by one of my tribe almost 400 years ago. Learning its use is a New Canaanite rite of passage.
Do you run the show around here?
I wouldn't say that. I am the acting war chief for the dead horses. They look up to me for such matters, but I only have the authority they give me. Daniel is the spiritual leader and main link of the New Canaanites to the Sorrows. He's up in the Narrows right now.
What's going on with all these tribes?
A great deal. There are 3, make that 4, tribes here in Zion. You've already met the Whitelegs on the way in. In this camp, you'll find dead horses. In the Narrows, the Sorrows. And finally, there's Daniel and myself. We're New Canaanites.
Why did the White Legs attack my caravan?
They attack everyone who isn't a white leg, especially caravans. They don't know how to survive on their own, so they have to raid. But as for why they are here, they are trying to wipe us out. All of us. They want to join Caesar's legion, and they can only prove their worth by destroying the New Canaanites and everyone we shelter.
Do they speak our language?
Most don't. It's been hundreds of years since the war. They've developed their own languages. Take the dead horses. We think they were originally refugees from a place called Rez, east of the Grand Canyon. They speak a combination of Rez and a language spoken by travelers who were visiting Rez when the bombs fell. Over time, two languages blended. I was a translator years ago, but it's hard to keep up with all of the tribal variations.
I wonder if res is supposed to be shortened from reservation, like a Native American reservation we have out west here. Does the valley belong to dead horses?
The valley belongs to God, but no. The dead horses live at Dead Horse Point, up the Colorado River. They came here because I asked them to. Before I returned to the fold, I visited them years earlier. I looked much different then, but I left an impression on them. I taught them how to hunt more efficiently, how to maintain their weapons and pre-war equipment. When I returned, they showed their appreciation.
Why haven't I seen any sorrows in the valley?
Sorrows have many skilled hunters among them, but no warriors. They have not had to deal with war or raiders for decades. Even though they can hunt a full-grown Yaogwai, they don't know how to deal with the White Legs. That's why we're here.
Are the New Canaanites really a tribe?
We wear more clothing than them and understand more about technology. But we're still a tribe. A linked family of families. The Boneyard, Phoenix, New Vegas, they're just places. Metal and stone. New Canaan dies, but the tribe lives on. When the walls come tumbling down, when you lose everything you have, you always have family. And your family always has tribe. Welcome back. Right now, I'd like you to focus on helping Daniel. Maybe there will be time later. We do. Though the White Legs destroyed New Canaan, they didn't destroy all of our supply caches. All forms of currency are recognized here. Caps, NCR dollars, even Legion coin. Take a look.
Alright, so there's nothing I really want to trade with him, but I do pick up some stuff, you know, throughout this episode that I'll come back to in the next episode and sell to him. Goodbye. So this particular recording, I don't record the episodes immediately one after another, so just to give an idea, it's been about a week or two since the announcement of Fallout First, which is Bethesda's latest, you know, shitbrain idea to try and monetize Fallout 76 by locking highly requested gameplay features behind a monthly subscription. There's like a bunch of good stuff in these caches. They're usually found in caves. I find, I think, 2 more in this episode. It's like 6 of them, so like halfway there by the end of this episode. But anyways, things like unlimited storage space, things like the ability to mod the game. It's like a few other...
Assault upon wounds butchered everyone in New Canaan. and nailed their corpses to the cliffs.
Just a bunch of features that everyone wanted, and Bethesda decided to charge, like, I think it's $12 for a month or 99 or so dollars for a year. And by the way, the cliffs are so uneven in this DLC that you can actually sort of scale down them through that very jank climbing method there. It's just amazing how motivated Bethesda is to kill Fallout. Like, you would be hard-pressed to find a company that hates one of its flagship franchises quite as much as Bethesda. Like, imagine if Nintendo decided to pull this shit with Mario or The Legend of Zelda. Alright, so here I fight a giant green gecko, and I actually get wrecked by this thing because Follows Chalk decides to be a lazy little bitch. And I forget that I don't have the stim pack set to a hotkey on my controller. So that was fun, and since some of the enemy respawns are randomized, for example these wolves here, which are ignoring me now but are gonna be assholes later, weren't there last time. This guy's still here, and now he's not. Look this. You're cool with me before, and now you decide to attack? What is this? Get out of here, you freaking beast. Instead of a giant green gecko, we instead have a giant greenish red scorpion. So here I am setting the stim pack to a hotkey. Actually get the achievement Stimply Amazing for healing, I think it's like 10,000 damage with stim packs. Red scorpions are just in general a lot easier to manage, especially when their pathfinding is so wonky they run into rocks like that. And it's even easier when they're going after the companion. Normally the bigger the scorpion, the less of a problem they are, due to the fact that smaller scorpions actually have much more painful stings. But I'm fairly certain at that size it becomes a problem again. It's not so much stinging you with poison, if only Boone was here. Not so much stinging you with poison as much as it's just stabbing you over and over again. Same with the Cazadors actually, but even their regular sized real life equivalents, those are worse than any scorpion you can come across. Alright, so somebody somewhere is pissed off at me, but I decided to explore this Firewatch tower here. I think that's what these buildings here are for, you know, see if there's any fire or whatever. At least I know that's a case in Forest. Maybe it's just a general watchtower in this canyon area. I get ambushed by a few of these white legs, and unfortunately I die here. Could've sworn I killed that dog when I was playing though. So I had to go back again and handle things. Such is life. Throughout this episode, what I tried to do is find the different locations in order to be able to fast travel back and forth later a lot easier. And due to like the verticality of this DLC, the arrows could actually be a bit misleading, where you think, oh, you just have to walk north or northwest a little bit or whatever, but turns out it's on top of one of these cliffs. So it's an entire ordeal of actually getting up there and discovering the location. It is quite peaceful at night though. And when we get up here, we have a bit of an amusing fight going on between a bunch of tribesmen, and only one of them is a white leg, so that guy is not going to be having a very fun time. Yep, there it is. Look at this poor bastard. Came to the wrong neighborhood. It's actually kind of funny how silly the armor is in this game, because my character would have shot him in his bare chest at some points with a gun, and yet he doesn't get affected at all or barely feels it. And then this fucking mole rat just appears literally out of nowhere just to die.
Anything as nasty as Yao Guai out where you come from, huh?
It's a bit silly, to be honest. And this guy's just squatting, you know, culturally appropriating Slavic culture. We don't abide by that in our video games. We are PC to the end. And after admonishing that guy for being very inappropriate, I do what's called a pro gamer move over here, where I try to cross this bridge, and you can just see the, you know, spatial awareness I have when playing video games just drop down in a very easily detectable hole. And this isn't going to be a first time in this video where my inability to notice what's on the ground is going to lead to some stupid shenanigans. We're going to be saying hello to an old friend much later on. For whatever reason, this white leg couldn't just take a bath in peace, but has to try to shoot us. And similarly, I'm trying to shoot him, but doing a piss poor job at it, as you can see. You know, at some point I probably should have changed out of the scientist outfit into some actual armor. But I just wanted to, you know, kind of show my superiority to all these people shitting in the woods. With the fact that I know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell or some shit. Like, listen, bub, you don't even know half the things I know. Like how difficult it is to get your character to drink from a river. And then another thing is pissed off at me. It's like, good grief. That one just straight up walked over some cacti. Thankfully these things can't swim, so I can just hang out in the water. Wherever it's going, it follows chalk problem now. Just drink water right next to the corpse, spilling blood everywhere. Oh. I guess it's not his problem. He's just gonna sit there being a fucking lazy bastard. Gotta do everything yourself, you know? There we go. There's a little bark scorpion there. Oh no, it's bark scorpion, a worker ant. Decide to stop embarrassing myself and just rush it with a shotgun. It's a very viable strategy against these things. Hunting shotgun's actually pretty good in this DLC. I think it might have some additional damage against wildlife, but I'm not entirely sure about that. How did I miss both of those shots? Absolutely incredible. And I grab some piece of scrap I didn't want, but get 75 caps for my trouble. The only problem is no one else here in this little camping area is as good of a donator as their neighbor. Like, all of the other suitcases have nothing we want. Couldn't be as good as that guy. Couldn't just throw your discarded caps into your suitcase like a normal human being. The nerve. The absolute nerve. So after that fun little adventure, I fast travel back to the ranger station where we fought the rat scorpion. And I think, alright, this time I'm totally going to go to where the mission actually wants me to go and talk to this Daniel guy. But then I do another pro gamer move. So here, Follows Chalk decides to like be an asshole to Bighorners, and I just bail. I try to drink and eat as much healing food as I can because there is an achievement for that as well. And turns out I land near some sort of tourist bus that probably contained a bunch of children who died tragically when the bombs fell. And while Follows Chalk is up there being a lazy asshole sleeping on the job, I actually find some of the quest items, like a compass sensor module here. And then later on, a broken compass. It's broken but could possibly be restored to a fully functioning state with repair 30. And since I certainly have that much repair, I can fix it right up. This was a strategy that only level 26 gamers can achieve, so it's not something to try at home easily. Oh, and then this mantis nymph here tries to ruin my party. Get out of here. That was actually completely on purpose. I swear, it's not just me being bad at video games. But yeah, this is another example of the surface collision of these supposedly vertical walls. Kinda need a bit of health for that one though. It would be nice if maybe in a future Fallout game that's not made by Bethesda, but instead a company that actually gives a shit, that rather than having to press A to drink the whole time, you can just hold down A. It would still be slow, you know, it's not completely free, it costs time. But you don't have to be mashing the A button over and over again. You know, just a little quality of life improvement. Seems like everywhere you go, there's always one bit of wildlife that hates you. And for whatever reason, this mantis nymph is the strongest thing in the fucking wasteland. Able to take multiple shotgun shells point blank. As Ant is doing something, just trying to talk to his friend the gecko there, but I end their conversation quick. And actually, like, if you stand back and watch, occasionally the animals here will fight each other, which I think is pretty cool. I have no idea what he's trying to shoot at. I think he just wants to waste a few bullets because he thinks the guns sound cool. Alright, so I'm heading along, discovering another location that's actually relevant to the mission this time.
Why do you carry all those bottle caps anyway? They jangle like crazy.
Because here in the Mojave, we carry caps that jingle, 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 dude. It's important. And then there's a sight I don't like to see. Cazadors, and did you see how big that one was compared to that dock there? Oh boy, it's coming. I just go inside, screw 'em. Then there's a bunch of geckos in here. And I noticed this pool table, so I want to show Follows Chalk a nifty example of a game we like to do back in the civilized world. These damn geckos, and then this white leg who decided to appear out of nowhere, keep interrupting my chance to teach him an interesting activity to do. Like, get out here, man. No one likes you. Go drink your vodka, firebomb, Molotov cocktail somewhere else. So yeah, I'm trying to pick up the pull cue, and I want to knock that white ball into that reddish orange stripe ball, but it's pretty difficult to achieve. So I say, alright, screw it, I'll knock it into that solid reddish, or that other one there. But nope. Maybe one day Fallout will...
The dead horses have thought the places of the old world were taboo. Doesn't look so spooky to me.
Maybe one day Fallout will be made by a company that doesn't have a shitty jank-ass engine that hardly functions. But that day is very clearly not today. And I decided to grab some alcohol. One for my baby, one for the road. And continue to do a little bit of exploring, see if there's anything worthwhile to grab in this abandoned area that everyone seems to think is taboo or spooky. I mean, it's a good way for Obsidian to cover their asses about why all this stuff is still here, even though it's pretty valuable. But wouldn't the White Lakes not find this place to be taboo? Wouldn't they be perfectly fine raiding this place for whatever it can offer? And it seems kind of odd that the tribals who are native to this area wouldn't really understand what a pre-war building is, but think it's some huge supernatural taboo thing. I don't know. So we take care of this white lake here, and I assume that's the end of it until this guy comes over here to spoil our party. And what I want to do is shoot its antenna, because that disorients him, but it's so difficult to actually lock onto the antenna that I try shooting its wing, but that doesn't help much. And I think this is the first time I decide to actually take rebound, which I've been kind of just holding in my inventory the whole time. Regenerates AP so I can do VATS. There we go, actually lock onto the antenna. Didn't do much for me, but I'm glad I was able to lock onto it all the same. And we take care of that. Look at the size of that lad, an absolute unit. So right next to that, some white leg guy decides, you know, I just saw this person go toe-to-toe with a giant Cazador. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can shoot him. I'm pretty sure I can take him on. Only for these two lazy assholes who decide to hang out having a little dick nick while I'm getting my ass whooped by a giant pseudo-wasp come in and decide to try to take all the glory. What's with this? No wonder the White Lakes doesn't like you people.
Okay, I'm up.
Oh, and you're up. Oh, I sure hope you had a good nap there, buddy. All well rested from the long, painful journey? Good grief. The journey continues on. We discover this little camping area here. Sorrow's Fork Campground. Follows Chalk is showing off exactly how knowledgeable he is of getting around this canyon area. And there's a mole rat over there. I thought that was like Jet for a few seconds, but no, it's just one of those little hula girls. And I grabbed the sexy sleepwear because I think Joshua Graham should get out of those bandages and slip into something a little more comfortable when he has the time. So I'll be selling him that when I get back to him in the next episode. I say in the next episode, but I honestly don't know if I will get back to him in the next episode. That's actually complete unknown.
Feels good to be doing some actual scouting, not just following.
All you do is literally follow me around. Like, let's not blow our load early about how diverse our purpose in life is just yet. So here I notice an airplane stuck in a cliff, and I decide that looks like a cool place. I want to see it. I want to see if there's anything on top of the cliff there. I want to see if I can hop on the airplane. I want to see so much of that. And so, despite my objective, that's going to be my primary focus for a while. But actually do something a little bit smart. I decide to actually discover the objective location first, so I can fast travel there after mulling about in the canyons. And then I see some orange wings, and I realize that my fun is over. We are officially in a no fun allowed zone. Oh, and there's a simply amazing achievement. For whatever reason, the achievement came up here in Fallout New Vegas, but when I get achievement in TF2, it doesn't show the icon. And I'm not even sure it shows all the Fallout New Vegas achievements. A bit odd, but whatever. Where the hell is Follows Chalk? It's good to have a bunch of anti-venom in this DLC. K-Fungus is actually really good. Take a bunch of food and drugs. I think next time I level up, which I don't do in this episode, I'd put a few in survival, because I think that increases the amount of health you get back from food. And while I'm just high as fuck here, a couple people are shooting each other. I tried to ignore the riffraff. I tried to just go my own way. But did you see that fucking Cazador right there just popping out to ruin my fun? So yeah, I have to go all the way back to the hut there. Such is life and death in Zion National Park. But once again, certain enemy spawns in this DLC are randomized. So rather than fighting some Cazadors, I just walk by this actually rather chill little gecko there. And understanding that he just wants to go on a little stroll, not harming anyone, I decide to live and let live and let him be. Hopefully Follows Chalk adheres to that peaceful idea and doesn't get a rage boner over the existence of just a tiny little gecko. Some yellow guai cubs here, but they're not too big of an issue. It's a nice thing that their mother isn't anywhere nearby. There's a Morning Glory cave guarded by a bighorner. For whatever reason, it wants to stand specifically at the entrance. No one's allowed through. And gets really upset when you stand near it. On the other side of that particular cliff face are a few people who were probably admiring the view when the bombs fell. They have a bunch of food and anti-venom.
Be a place where people go into big buildings and give away all their money just to watch someone flip paper squares on a table.
This guy doesn't understand the concept of gambling. So not a bad find by any means. And down there is a hollow log, which I decide to grab, and realizing that there's no way to get to the plane that I know of from the left or right side, I unfortunately have to kill this bighorner. If only it was not literally right in the freaking way. But alas, alas, that is how it is in Fallout New Vegas, Honest Hearts. So in this cave is a bunch of the spore plants from Vault 22. Nice to see them make a return since they were so ineffective in the actual vault. And not surprising, they're also pretty ineffective here, and their meat is actually very good.
Whoa! Here we go! Gotcha!
Like one hanging out up there, it's not even attacking us, it's just chilling, and this guy here, this absolute maniac. Yep, there's our old friend, the fucking bear traps. I can at least say it makes a bit more sense here than a resort, but I'm not happy about seeing these assholes again. Some ammunition, some dynamite. I just, God fucking damn it, it even pisses me off just watching. Now I have to use a Hydra. So I'm looking on the ground. I am making sure there's no bear traps still left armed. I grabbed some cave fungus. And I see this one. Is it armed? Is it not?
Here's some odd things about the civilized lands outside Zion.
I contemplate taking this, because I think maybe I could lockpick the lock it belongs to for some experience. This actually looks like it would be an exit outside, but alas it's not, so we get no closer to the plane. Yeah, looking on the ground, being really paranoid. And there, I'm just glad it's not a bear trap, you know? Have an explosion go off near me as long as it's not a freaking bear trap. Looking around, checking for tripwires. Why is it that out of all the things in New Vegas, those things are the most dangerous? How did I not see that? God fucking damn it! Another one! And here I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. Like, alright, you, follows chalk, you go. No, fuck you. Carry your own weight. You go and check for traps. Just pushing them along, trying to see if there's any more just invisible bear traps on the ground there.
Those, what did you call them? Walkie-talkies? Those are going to be loads better than signal drums and smoke signs. Like the shadow of a ghost.
So I'm just checking around. Are there any bear traps here? No, but there's a pretty good duffel bag with an odd ball cap and glasses combo that probably belonged to the person who resided here. And also some drained ammunition and terminal. Year 2108, August 22nd. 10 sets of tracks, 1/2 mile northeast of Canyon Entrance, barefoot. August 23rd, saw them through his scope. Corpses walking around, finally gone crazy. Dementia maybe? August 24th? I'm not crazy. They're real. God damn it, they're real. Rushed me the moment they saw me, snarling like animals. They look like corpses but don't smell rotted. So he probably saw some feral ghouls there. I'll be putting them out of their misery. Doing to them what I never could to myself. September 3rd, the last of them, all gone. Year 2113, February 5th. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday you useless old dinosaur. Happy birthday to me. Happy 28th, what do you get a man who has everything? A bottle of whiskey and a 12-gauge slug through the roof of his mouth? Woo! Come now, what do I have to do to prove to myself that I've lived long enough? I'm a shriveled old man, white beard, seen enough sunrises and sunset, saw the big... Come on past me. Come on. Sunset, been hanging out on through the long night, 36 years now. Ridiculous. Not kidding myself into thinking there's anything on the other side of this. Fine, things weren't so bad before I was born. Char and Alex, Sylvie and Michael, who could have been, thought of the beloved dead before dying. Goodbye, Zion. February 6th. Fucking didn't do it. Coward as usual. Maybe 2 bottles next year. 21-23. April 25th. 24 of them, half boys, half girls. Youngest is an 8 maybe, oldest 13-14. Dirty and scrawny, been on foot a long time, children's crusade. Struck camp on nearly the same spot as Los Mexicanos, 30 years and a lifetime ago. I've spent 2 nights listening to them, English, literate, one of them reads stories while the little ones fall asleep. They escape someone they call the school, escape someplace they call school, but can't figure out where it was. When they want the little one to behave, they tell them to stop or the principal will get you. Principal better not show up or I'll blow his goddamn head off. I can still shoot straight. Since there was nothing else in Bear Trap Caverns, I decided to go into the general store. And greeted by a ton of wildlife. It's like a Disney cartoon. All these animal friends hanging out, having a blast, learning the meaning of friendship. Just fucking magical. And I shoot him so fast, follows Chalk doesn't even have any time to react. The Nuka-Cola truck. There's a cash register, and I decide not to grab the key so I can unlock the thing for a little bit of experience. A silenced .22 pistol that I think I could repair with the one I already have, but later on would discover that both of them are already fully repaired. And there's a snow globe in here. So make sure to grab that. It's not as out of the way as the one in Dead Money. In fact, I think this is a mandatory quest. So I grab the snow globe. And yeah.
Feels good to be doing some actual scouting, not just following.
Didn't really want to kill this mole rat. I would rather allow it live, but it was hostile to me, so I had to. I mean, it's trapped in here, you know? Would rather just let it be free. Find this terminal and again try to decipher the secret code that unlocks it. Tribe was a pretty good pick because I realized it's TRI and the only one that can be is Trick. RE shipping error. Hi Mandy, this is Norris Applebaum out in the Zion General Store. I placed an order there 3 weeks ago for the deluxe Mountain Han all-in-one survival kits. Oh, Mountain Man. You know, the ones that come with a compass and pair of walkie-talkies and a full first aid kit. I'm writing to you because as of today, 06/15/2057, I still haven't received this shipment. I'm fresh out of the kits here, and with summer tourist season picking up, I really need the new ones ASAP. Thanks, Horace. RE Bus Tour? Dear Scoutmaster Hitchum, thanks for the following up. You'll be happy to know that the little scout lunchboxes you ordered have arrived. You can pick them up from the general store when you arrive in Zion. The general store is open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. till nightfall. We look forward to seeing you and your scouts on Independence Day. All the best, Horace Applebaum. Shipping problems again? Mandy, who the hell is running this shipping company? I've just received 3 crates of Dinky the Dinosaur, trademark, officially licensed Dino Action dolls. These things were supposed to go to some tourist trap in Nevada. How the hell did they get here? Mandy, what the hell can I do with this stuff? Maybe if we file off the Dinky trademarking, we can turn them around as kitty souvenirs and make a few bucks, but I'm still looking at a major loss here. Whatever's going on in your shipping department, take care of it, or I'll find somebody else to handle my orders. I swear to God. Yours, Horace. P.S. I still haven't received the order of survival gear I requested last month. You know, the things I actually sell to the people. Well, somebody's just having a rough time. Could it get any worse for him? So there's like a few other scout lunch boxes that I forget about, and there's 2 other ones. And so I go into this other building and then have to backtrack later on, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And this guy just comes out fucking nowhere. You saw that. Literally appeared out of the ether or some crap. I mean, good grief. No wonder these guys are such a problem. They can teleport around willy-nilly. Inside here are about 3 bark scorpions that I can't aim at with VATS. But they're not a problem. And the desks don't offer anything but some ashtrays and general crap. If only Boone was here, you know? He would actually shoot at the Cazadors rather than just get his shitter shattered by them. Some pre-war money. Some ammunition up there. I wonder what's so important. It'd be behind an average lock. And it's actually the pistols that Joshua Graham uses, so yeah, pretty important. Kind of wondering about that black coffee, decided to ignore it. This medical supply kit is mostly intact, but several of the sterile bandages have been broken open and the disinfectant bottle is leaking. You can try to salvage what's there, or you can find replacements for the contaminated components. Alternatively, you can use alcohol to re-sterilize the bandages. Mess in 30 or greater required. And I decide to sterilize the kit with alcohol. With some high-proof alcohol, you can sterilize the kit rather than replace components. Requires 1 scotch, 1 vodka, or 1 whiskey. And since I have at least 1 of those, I sterilize the kit with alcohol. And there we go. Easy peasy. It's significantly better when things are easy peasy lemon squeezy,
What did you...
as opposed to difficult, lemon difficult. And I'm thinking of heading up, but then I realize that the marker wants me to go back. So I decide to just stick around and try jumping on the roof here, because it's very rare you're able to jump on the roofs of buildings in Fallout. I contemplate what that area there is. Have I been there? I actually legitimately don't know. Like, I don't think I've been to a place with an antenna like that, but who knows. After looking around for a lot longer than I'm comfortable admitting, I find the 2 lunch boxes. That one was especially well hidden, being protected by that broom there. Then turns out I actually was supposed to head up there, so looks like I was on the right track after all. This Cazador was injured by something along the way, and I decided, you know what? I'm getting sick of these things. It's time to show them the power of the future. Let's go, Q35 matter modulator. And then there's 2 of them, so that's no fun. And then for whatever reason I take out the firebomb and try using a grenade against some insects that can fly. Not the smartest move. Go back to the future weapon. That probably has a better outcome against flying insects. Oh yeah, taking care of them like it's nobody's business. If only Follows Chalk wasn't such a lazy bastard, he could have seen how cool my future weapons are. But unfortunately, he's decided to lay down again. Guess all the excitement of finding those lunch boxes was too much for him. And have to take the anti-venom. On the bright side, we get a bunch of Cazador poison glands, which are worth quite a bit.
Okay, I'm up. What's next?
So one more up there. I do, but I'm not giving any to you, because you keep laying down on the job. There's a hard lock door, so you know there's good loot behind it. Let's see, some micro fusion cells. That's alright, I guess. Some 10mm rounds. A bobby pin, and I think the cattle prod is why this was locked so tightly. Because it has fatigue damage as well. That's only really good if you're a melee type character. And I tend to be long range. It's a park ranger hat. That's nice. If only Boone was here. So we finally enter this Sorrow's Cave, and I'm a bit paranoid because we're in the water, and I remember the previous time there was bear traps. I don't want to put up with them anymore.
You are the one Joshua Graham sent to us. Blessings of the Father in the cave on you. Daniel is waiting for you.
Thanks, Peacock Lady. I'd like to get a bear glove. Where can I get one?
A Sorrow's Yaoguai fist is a sacred symbol. It shows that we belong to the tribe and have willingly undertaken a dangerous quest to aid the tribe. Each Sorrow makes his own, and only after hunting and slaying a Yaoguai that threatened our people. Our shaman, White Bird, oversees the rites. Perhaps if you spoke to him, he would allow you to undertake such a quest.
So, what's your deal?
Waking Cloud is my name. I am midwife to the Sorrows. It sounds ill-omened, no? Midwife to Sorrows?
Midwife? I haven't seen any children around, thankfully.
The children and the old have already been evacuated from the camp. They are safe enough, unless the Whitelegs come for us in force.
So, what do you do when not squeezing babies out of your cooter?
I tend to other hurts and sicknesses that afflict our tribe. I also scout the valley for the herbs I use in my medicines.
Let's talk about something else. What about this Daniel guy? Who is he?
Daniel is a wise man and a great friend to the Sorrows. He taught me to speak the language of New Canaan, the English from the holy books.
Holy books?
Yes, the language of the New Canaanites is the holy tongue, for it is the language their sacred books are written in. The Father in the caves brought it to them after the judgment, but the ancestors of the Sorrows sinned against him. They were denied the true tongue.
Have you known him long?
6 years. He attended the birth of my third child. It was a hard birth. The river nearly carried my water to the Father, and my child's with it. Daniel knew the ways of New Canaan's medicine. He stepped in and saved both of our lives. After the birth, I asked Daniel if he would teach me what he knew of childbirth. He agreed, and so here I am.
I'm sure he knows a lot about giving birth to kids, having done it himself.
We have dwelt in the Narrows since the end that came in fire. When the Father in the caves punished the world and made us forget the holy tongue. We have had good relations with the other tribes in the valley. At least before Salt Upon Wounds brought his Whitelegs here. We have Daniel to thank for our continued existence. His advice and help has kept the Whitelegs from overrunning us so far. I do not know how long even he can protect us, though.
What do you know about Salt Upon Wounds?
He is war chief of the Whitelegs, and the worst butcher of them all. The tribes he has crushed are many. The warriors he has slain, countless.
Who or what is his father in the cave?
Have you not heard of the god of the New Canaanites? He is our protector and our judge. He helped our ancestors find their place here in Zion. He gave us many gifts, but we are not to seek him out. His caves are forbidden to us. Those who seek them out are taken from us.
So I intentionally don't tell them or clear the air about the fact they're worshipping
I'm sure
different
Daniel
gods.
could tell you more. His knowledge of the Father is greater than my own.
Cause I like the idea that schism will appear in their crappy little religion later
Then I
on.
will look forward to our next speaking.
But just before she goes, I feel this is a fantastic photo opportunity. Been a while since we took a cool picture. There we go. Now, even though they're forbidden from going into the caves, I'm not, because I don't believe any of that crap. So I notice a bunch of areas to discover on the map here, those little hollow triangles, and I spend the rest of the episode trying to discover them. It's quite fortunate that I decided not to talk to Daniel during this episode, because, well, it's already difficult enough to talk to anyone else in post-commentary, because I like to read what my dialogue choice is.
What did you call them?
And there's Daniel walking around,
Duckies? Those are going to be loads better than signal drums and smoke signs.
and I'm concerned that if I get too close, it'll automatically talk to him like it did to basically every other NPC I communicated with. Here's a guy who didn't have a very fun time when the bombs fell. So I just steer clear of him and go into the half mouse cave, as opposed to all those full mouse caves you hear so much about. Most of the caves in this area are dead end, and a few dead ends, and a few of them.
Can I get some backup? Healing? Something?
Quit being a baby. And a few of them actually have white legs in them, like they're somehow squatting out in a cave, completely undetected by this tribe here. This whole area is actually a bit of a maze. You have to really figure out what bridge leads to what cave, where you're supposed to go, and so on and so forth. It can take quite a while if you don't know exactly what you're doing, which, surprise, surprise, I didn't know exactly what I was doing. Stonebone Cave. I think this is another one that the survivalist was in. Yep. There's a stealth boy here. That's pretty fancy. So yep, 3 out of 6. I know there's one cave I didn't go into in this episode. Year 2096. 1. February 11th. Fuckers killed all the men. I think they would have taken the woman alive, but Maria and Selena opened fire, and some of the others went for the guns, so they shot them down and some of the kids with them. If I could have warned them. February 12th. Elena and Carmen and 5 children still alive, being kept in a pen. There are more than 100 of these assholes in blue suits. Every suit says 22 on the back. Why? Armed to the teeth with submachine guns, pistols, estimate 60% male. Everyone seems to follow the dark-haired guy, but can't get close enough to tell. Assholes are disciplined. Patrols, sentries, they mean business. Say I go in at night and get the woman and children out. Where to next? But I have to get them out. Have to. February 13th. Recon during the night, well organized. Sentries along most approaches, but stream not covered. Are they sick? Lots of coughing fits, tuberculosis. Women and children still in pen. We'll try to infiltrate by stream tomorrow night. February 14th, they ate them. February 19th, ambush along Riverside Trail. 6 males killed, heard their coughing a mile away. Used their grenades to booby-trap the bodies, kept half, secured 6 SMGs, 500 rounds, 10mm, 6 frags. February 20th. Ambush along Riverside Trail. 2 males died, checking bodies, killed 2 more with rifle, shot 1 through calf and let asshole crawl off to spread message. Coughed like I'd shot him through lungs. February 23rd. Ambushed half-mile east of Coal Pits Wash. 8 males killed. Part 2. February 28th. Ambushed in the narrow. 6 males killed. Took a 10mm through thigh. Steel jacket. Missed femoral. Lucky. Used tourniquet to make certain no blood splattered on rocks back to cave. Have set traps all along entrance passage, but if they find me, it will be a matter of time. Still 24 confirmed kills in 10 days, at least 1/3 of their combat forces. Not bad for an old man. March 2nd, lucky. Patrol is small, 3 men screaming woke me. Point man caught under deadfall, panic fire, ricocheted into cave, almost hit me. Crawled forward and guess I was a guy under the rock. And killed them all with SMGs. Nearly used frags, stupid, finger and pin when remembered ricochets. Leaving at once, no other patrols in the area, but they'll be searching narrows for these 3. Taking as much food as I can drag with me and heading to the cave south.
I won't last long at this rate.
And there's another automatic pistol. For whatever reason, I pick up a police baton, some combat gear, and whatever reason, a helmet that weighs literally nothing. Just a tad bit odd that the clothing would weigh something, but not the helmet, but whatever. So I'm a bit confused here, because one entrance had no traps. So I'm wondering what he talks about. And as I stumble around, I realize, oh, it's probably over here that has traps. Yep. Then I find this area here that doesn't seem to have any actual use for anything. Like, there's no good loot. It doesn't lead anywhere from what I can tell. There's just these barrels hanging around doing nothing, so I'm wondering if that explosion for that trap was supposed to set off a chain reaction.
Good to be doing some actual scouting.
But it didn't. But since there's nothing in his little makeshift meth lab here, I decided to just head on out and see what else is in this cave to discover. I said I decided to head on out and see what else is in this cave to discover. There we go. There's one more fork I can go through if I could remember where I came from. At least those gives you ample time to back off. But then I remember, oh shit, you know, since there's traps here, there could be bear traps, so I need to be careful. And I literally see that bear trap. I see it, I decide to disarm it, and out of fucking nowhere, a bear trap right beneath my feet. Why? God damn it, I hate bear traps. I think those are 3 guys. Or maybe the guy on the rock wasn't the one he was talking about.
I won't last long at this rate.
Man, I just straight up do not like bear traps, let me tell you that. Here's one of the other dead-end caves. There's a lunchbox there. I can't cook anything still.
Gotcha.
A lot of food items and a couple mole rats. Look at that guy. Not even a threat. You can just flick at him and he'll die. Well, you've gotta shoot the tiny mole rats. Just seems wrong, you know? They remind me of Snuffles back in that one miner's location near the Quarry Junction. Some trail mix, which has 3 weight and a value of 5. I don't remember if I decided to grab it or not. And yeah, it is a dead-end cave. Guessing a bunch of boulders fell at some point and trapped these people inside. At least from that end. There's another end they could very clearly go out of. But they were probably here when the bombs fell, so it wasn't like there's a whole wide range of places they could go. But then again, this place looks pretty pristine compared to everywhere else, so maybe it was one of the places they didn't bomb. Like, of all the places you would nuke the United States, I don't think a national park would be high on your list. Unless it's a front for some government operation. Actually, I kind of wonder if any government had the idea of...
plants and the green monster men aren't native to Zion. Wonder where they came from.
Vault 22. Good grief, don't you know you're Fallout lore, dude? This isn't fucking amateur hour. Anyways, I kind of wonder if any government had the idea of like having some covert base in the middle of a national park. Just very well hidden so no tourists would find it. Yeah, maybe not. It's a glass chime station, which is actually quite pretty due to the fungi here, but it's filled to the brim with these white lake guys. And thankfully they decide to go after my companion as opposed to me. That's right, guys. Try to shoot the tribal, not the guy with the glowing future weapon. Very considerate of them. And this guy has an anti-materia rifle, which makes me really happy, because that's probably the most powerful gun in the game. Like, it's certainly up there. And so I'm trying to see if I can repair it with my sniper rifle, but I think I need a perk for that. So decided to repair a few things, and here's where I realized that my silenced pistol are both very high durability. Yep, shoot the tribal, not me. I'm literally shooting you with something you can only assume is magic, and you're busy attacking this guy with some crappy little thing he's holding. Turned around too late. Goodbye. What are you even doing here? This whole area is filled to the brim with your enemies. I think the Sorrows are crappy at fighting back against these guys, actually, but still. Like, there's a whole Zion National Canyon. Just hang out by a river somewhere and set up your camp there. See what the trail mix does. It's actually pretty good. Even if it does increase your radiation, I have enough right away to fix that if I really want to. There's another tent here. See, this is why nobody likes White Lakes. They're a bunch of camping assholes.
Way I heard it, salt upon wounds butchered everyone in New Canaan.
And nobody likes a camper. Trust me, the people I air blast off of the side of the cliff in PL Upward in TF2, they probably really hate me because I'm just camping there, waiting for some unsuspecting guy to pass through. It's great. And then it's raining out here, which is very rare to see in Fallout, and it's actually quite lovely, possibly due to its rarity. Doesn't last very long. We go into another cave here, and I think there's... no. Thought there was more White Lakes, but no, it's just a couple of dogs that I decided to put down brutally. There's a third one. Video games, letting you murder baby dogs. Oh, so there's a White Lake here, and he's just standing around having a dicknick while you shoot at him with a plasma weapon. Should've gone fast, dude. Should've gone fast. Turning your White Lakes red. Goodbye. This guy hang out here. So earlier I was ambushed by a few of these people, and one of them had this weapon called a shish kebab. And then I died, and due to the random spawning, the guy didn't respawn when I went back there. And I lost a shish kebab, but now I have it again. And yeah, that's a thrilling story of my adventures in Fallout New Vegas. I hope you enjoyed it. I like the part where I got the shish kebab. Bunch of food strewn about.
So I finally get to explore all those taboo places without the other scouts yelling at me? Can't wait.
Yep, you're on the road to not being a massive fucking pleb. And I think that is all of the hollow arrows I could find in this general area, so that should mean I discovered all the caves and cavern systems. And so in this beautiful, very rare rainfall, that will conclude the episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode, that I gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care.